after we do LO3, we will see whether we have time to do other things. But so the goal of today is to try to finish LO3 today. Yeah. So let me see. Then 13. Thirty-seven, 38. Okay. So let's start. I call the list already. So
Marty,
yes.
can I change? Can I disconnect and change my connection because I cannot hear you very well.
You must turn on your camera as well. Yeah.
Yeah, I know, but
So okay, let's continue. Let me start with one recommendation that I got from the school, and that is that I should let people know that some of you were close to get a D, and so the recommendation from the school is that we give you the the heads up to make sure that you do your best on the second assignment, so that there is a higher chance for you to get a D overall, right? Because your first assignment wasn't good, but you should really make sure to get a D on the second one. So the first one is Hon Han. The second is Baolin. Then Luan. Then Yen Huang. Huang Tao. Queen Chang. What's that? Kioling and Minan. So those people, you really have to do your best so as to make sure that your second assignment will be a D. Yeah, the people I mentioned. There is how to say that? If you do have a higher grade on the second assignment, then there might be a chance that you are allowed to improve the first assignment. Of course, that is also true for everybody else, right? So all of you, if you all this class gets a M or D on the second assignment, right? All of you get M and D, then the school will feel more compelled to give you a chance to improve A1. But if your results are pretty much the same as A1, then there is no chance to get permission from the school to allow you to resubmit, right? To improve the first grades. So if you want to get a chance, then I would strongly advise you to aim for a D, not just for a pass or a merit. Yeah. But the people I just mentioned, they should really make sure that you get a D on the second assignment. Then the grades from the school, I'm being informed that Dr. Tu hasn't approved them yet, so you won't be getting it so soon. But anyways, they will inform you for the final grades, so you don't need to worry about that. They will be in charge of it. Yeah. Is there any question about the grading or something? No questions. Okay. So if there is no questions there, then
Martin,
yes.
I'm on the list that you have just called, right?
Okay, let me check. Number 11, right?
Yeah.
Oh, wait. Wait. Let me see. What is wrong? Here as number 11.
11.
Where are you? Yeah, you are. Yep.
So I'm pass. Right.
I cannot tell you that, but I can tell you that you should try to make sure that the second assignment is a D.
Martin, I
School
don't
has to give you the final grades, like the actual grades.
Martin, I don't understand about the list you call.
The list I call is the list that they really have to make sure that the second assignment is a D. That is the list.
A B or a D?
A D, a distinction.
Okay.
So the people I just called, those are the people that you should make sure that your second assignment is a distinction. Then you can, expect to get expect that it is to the school to decide if they want to give you another chance to submit. Overall, it's for all of you, right? But in particular, for those people that I mentioned, they really have to make sure that you get a D. Yeah? Then to that list, I would like to add these people who should also make sure to get a D. That would be Chong An, Mi Huyen,
Yes.
me, and them. They should also try to get a D on the second one. The rest of you also do your best. Yeah? Okay, other questions? No questions. Okay, so in that case, let's start with the class. Yeah. So the objective of today is that we are going to be able to finish LO3 today. It should happen in about 30 minutes, 40 minutes, and then we will see what to do with the time. Yeah. So let's start. Last time we learned about growth hacking, right? And we mentioned that growth hacking is mainly about testing and optimizing, right, the performance of your app in terms of the commercial results that it will bring to the company. We also mentioned that there are 5 pillars for it. The first one is the minimum viable product, which is a basic version of the product that you want to, product or service that you want to offer to your customers, that already is able to showcase the value proposition that you are going to sell, right? Then the product itself doesn't have to be perfect, but it should show already the main characteristics of the final product. That, of course, you will go improving that minimum viable product into the final product or different versions of the final product. That is natural, but you should have something that already provides a good idea of what the value proposition for your company is. Then you need to have some user data analysis that will be generated by allowing users to experience your MVP and other versions of it that might, help them to, or help you to know how they think and how they react towards your MVP. Then we also mentioned that conversion rate optimization is very important because it will allow you to know how are you performing in terms of user acceptance. Then viral growth, because you want to grow exponentially, right? And you have to provide opportunities for your customers to recommend you to others. And finally, retention and scalability, because of course you want to retain your customers, make them come often to your site and increase the bill size. But you also want to be able to scale your company as fast as possible, right? That you're able to deal with the large amount of people that visit your site. Then we also talked about the some of the user data analysis that you have to do and can help you to improve your website conversion and sales. And we talk about the customer journey. Basically how you made for them to come to you, right? How they, which of the channels they use to arrive to your website. Then we also mentioned that it is likely that you will have to make segmentation, right? And that means that segmentation will allow you to divide the general market into smaller segments that you may want to address with some sort of personalization later on. Now, today we will be talking about the second part of growth hacking, and that includes this conversion rate optimization maturity model. So basically here we're going to be talking about the different levels that you will go through on as a company, yeah? So let me hide you for a minute and let's see. So as you can see, there is 5 levels, with level 1 being the starting level, the beginner's level, and level 5 being the most advanced one. That means that on level 1, you will just be starting with optimization, and level 5, optimization will be at the core of your company. In terms of people, how will that be reflected? When you're on level 5, there will be a large team that works on conversion optimization. On level 1, you will have probably only one person that knows some about online marketing, and he will be in charge of this first trial of optimization. Then you will, in terms of knowledge that is needed, on level 4, you will have people who have understanding about management, about customer and business analytics. They probably will also hold MBAs, right? Then on level 1, you will have people who have a basic understanding of online marketing. They are not true experts. They have some experience about that or some knowledge about it. In terms of the activities, right, at the first level, you will be doing some basic traffic and conversion report analysis, maybe some sales monitoring to couple your cells with the rest of the analysis. On level 4, there will be a much more advanced management of multi-channel analysis and optimization. You will be going towards one-to-one personalization, meaning a very high level of personalization, not just used in user profiles, but truly based on each person's specifics. And then you will do lots of data mining, and you will have a almost 360 understanding of your business. In terms of the testing strategy and frequency, at level 1, you will have no strategy or very basic strategy, and only 1 or 2 tests per quarter. That means like 1 every 6 weeks. And on the level 5, you will have 6 tests per month, basically 2 tests every week, right? And you will have a very disciplined way of testing. So every week you will do it, and you will do it in exactly the same way. Probably very advanced protocols on how to do the testing as well. In terms of processes, you will have no optimization on the processes themselves. And in the level 5, it will be super optimized. That means that you will have made, a very strong work on optimizing not only the results, but also the process themselves. In terms of the tools that you will be using, on level 1, you will be using web analytics, simple, maybe those, generated by Google. But then on level 5, you will use a lot of personalization automation tools. So you will make sure that, the experience that each individual user has will be tailored for their needs and preferences. Then you will have a multi-channel analytics, meaning that you'll probably be able to control all your different channels from one screen, so that you're able to select the right mix for you and for each one of your customers. In terms of the sponsor in the company, you will see that basically on level 1, there will be only one knight, and is the one battling all the battles. But on level 5, it will be the whole organization that will be involved in this process of optimizing the results. Okay, so these are the main ideas behind this conversion rate model. Of course, in your case, it is very unlikely that you will be at level 5, right? Since you're having your first experience, so you will be at level 1 or 2. That is the most likely phase where you will be. Then, if we take a look at the viral growth, we can see that there are 3 main types of viral growth. One is the inherent, the second, the artificial, and the third, the word of mouth. The word of mouth is given by people who have experienced your service or products already, and they are very satisfied with it, and therefore they are willing to get involved and recommend their experience to others. In terms of artificial virality, right, you have the sort of systems where you will tell your people, if you recommend 3 friends, then you will get 5% discount, or target 3 friends and you will get 10% discount. So that is artificial virality. And then you have the inherent virality, where you will be, building this virality inside of the program itself, where you need to have large number of users for the program to become interesting, like Facebook, like Skype, like Viber, right? So social media in general. So once you have that critical mass, then it becomes interesting to use the system. Of course, depending on your company and depending on the app that you're trying to develop, these different forms of viral growth should be on it, should be planned for. Then let's take a look at the practical growth hacking framework. So how does this viral growth hacking works in reality? So oftentimes it will start with you analyzing the product market fit, meaning how well your product is fitting the needs of your customers, right? Does it is there enough people who would like to buy the product that you have or the service that you have? Is it filling one substantial need or substantially filling one need of the customers? Okay. Does it provide any extra value to them? Then you go to the stage 2 of the actual growth hacking, where you can ask yourself, how can I do to, have a high growth quick, and in this case also cheaply, right? And then you will start thinking in terms of what kind of skills do you need, and you will need people that are creative, that they have good understanding about technology, that they have certain type of specific skills like behavioral psychology, so they can help you to understand your customers. You can also have people, or you will also need people who knows how to code, so that they can, start working on changes as you go. And then you need to have people who is very good at analyzing data, so that they can process all the data that's generated and start suggesting changes. Then you will look at the different channels to see how you can manage a combination of them to get people on board. So you can use viral marketing, you can use public relations, you can use social media ads, blogs, affiliate programs, you can use trade shows or experiential marketing. So any one of these tools that will make people interested on you and using your app. Then you may want to do some data analysis, and again, you will have a set of decisions to make. You want to use the A/B testing, for instance, where you will give people 2 options and then let them choose and tell you why they choose each one of the options, or none of them, if that is the case. Then you will want to do some qualitative surveys, and finally check some net promoter score. Then you may want to look at some metrics. And for these metrics, it is recommended that you use the Pirate metrics. Pirate metrics are the RR metrics, right? Acquisition, activation, retention, revenue, and referral. So often you will have a set of KPIs per each one of the channels. That means that if you have 5 KPIs for the Pirate metrics for viral marketing, then you will have another set of 5 for offline ads or for content marketing, okay? To see which one is the one that drives you more people through the different phases, yeah? And then after you have done these measurement metrics, you may want to use some of the tools that exist to make your experiments. So you can use some Google Analytics or Kissmetrics or Qualaroo. That is up to you, right? And then after you have used these different techniques that helped you to understand the uses better, then you will start the iterated process again, right? You will select something that you want to analyze, you will create a hypothesis, and then you will prioritize your planning, so going through each one of these steps. And then, of course, you're going to end up understanding more about your users, and then start the iteration again. To this point, is there any question? No? Okay. So then I will move to the next part. And in the next part, it is a bit more clear, right, how this works. So let me make it a big one. We're going to be talking about this customer lifecycle conversion behavior. So how this acquisition works is by making a combination of the different channels that you can use, right, to drive as many people as possible towards your website or your app. In this case, we can use, social networks. You can use search engine optimization, blogs or contests, or even TV ads, right, to bring these people to you. Then once the activation happens, that means they have become your users. Then of course some revenue was created. Then when people became your users and they had that first experience, they might be happy enough to try to recommend that experience to others. And so this can be done very simply by asking them to tag people or to send an email invitation to others. But you can also have some campaigns or some contests among your current users, so as to invite others in, right? So you can give them like a discount code, personalized discount code or something like that. And then couple with a reward for them based on the number of people that they drive into your platform. Then you can have also some ways to encourage retention. You can share some content that is exclusive for the people who is your actual customer. You can have some events, like special events only available for your users, or you can have emails or some sort of app alerts that will tell them about new content or new opportunities for them, so that as to keep them engaged with your app. Yeah. So, and then finally, of course, you have to see how much revenue is being generated on this activity. All this has to be combined as to obtain the largest revenue possible. Is there any question about this part until here? Right, so what if we have learned is how to use different tools on growth hacking to achieve the best possible commercial results, right? Which means more revenue.
Đâu?
Any question until here? Okay, if there are no questions, then I suggest we have 5 minutes break, and then when we come back, I will explain you the second part. Yeah. So it is 10:20. We'll have a break until 10:25. Okay, let's start, please. We got a little longer break, so I hope you are with your fresh mind, right? And if you have questions, you can ask them now. Do you have any question? No. If there are no questions, then let's go to the next part, yeah? What you have to set? Battery. Battery. Okay, so let's start again. So, oh. Okay. So, any questions here? No? See. Okay, so if there are no questions, then let's go to the next part. And the next part is about the following. Oh, yeah, about the elements that allow you to do this growth hacking. Okay, so what we mentioned before, right, is that you need to have a number of skills to be able to do this growth hacking. And the first one, of course, is that you have to be focused on growth as an organization. You have to have the curiosity and the understanding of technology, because not only the technology that you are developing, but especially the technology that allows you to, generate those metrics and process them. Okay, so we're going to be talking about these operational elements of growth hacking, right? And we mentioned before on skills that you need to have that curiosity and understanding of technology. You need to have a focus on growth. You need to be able to understand the technology that has the basis for your application, but also the technology that allows you to generate enough data for you to process later. You need to be focused on growth. You need to be able to collect data and to interpret it. And you need to have a very good understanding of branding, because every decision that you make will have an effect on your company image. Then you need to understand about processes, right? You need to know about testing and experiments. You need to have a good understanding of the 20 different traction channels that you can use so that you can create the best possible mix. And then you will test how it works. You will measure the results and then learn from it and start all over again. You need to be focused on conversion improvement. That means that your goal should be on improving those metrics. Then you need to be confident using a number of tools, which the most basic is, of course, Google Analytics. You can also use Kissmetrics or Qualaroo. Then you can, you have to design a number of metrics that are specific for your business, right? No two businesses will have the similar or exactly the same pool of metrics. Then you will develop metrics per KPIs per channel. Then you will have to prioritize few metrics, right? For instance, there will be some metrics that you need to measure continuously, and then you will have other types of metrics that you only need it a few times. Yeah. And you should try to work with the Pirate metrics framework, the R metric. Then you would need to, let's see why it's not working. Okay. Then you would need to use this framework that from Chaffee 2000 that helps you to, generate a number of metrics based on 5 categories. The first one is business contribution. Then you have marketing outcomes, customer satisfaction, customer behavior, and site promotion. And it is through a combination of these different metrics that you will be able to have a very good idea of how your company is doing. We have the business contribution metrics, like online revenue contribution, category penetration, costs, and profitability, which are kind of traditional ones. Then you can have specific marketing outcomes in terms of leads, sales, conversion, and retention efficiencies, which we have seen already on the first part of LO3. Then you need to have some customer satisfaction figures that are very traditional for marketing, like site usability, performance, availability, contact strategies, attitudes, and brand impact. That, of course, with a multivariate model will help you to understand which one drives or has a stronger impact on your brand, and therefore which ones you have to manage first. Then you can do some customer behavior analytics in terms of the profiles, in terms of the customer segmentation. Although initially you may have, let's say, 2 or 3 profiles only, right? The salesman, the user, and maybe a power user. And then you will have, over time, when you know more about your customers, maybe you will have 4 or 5 different segments, and so you will have different types of customer profiles again. Then you have to look at the click streams and the actions. That means on which parts are they clicking, which parts of the screen they are reading more, and so on. So that's to see which parts are more attractive for the users. Then you will look at figures from site promotion. That means the attraction efficiency, referral efficiency, the cost of acquisition, email marketing, and so on. Okay, so it is through a combination of these different things that you get a better idea of your company. And of course, they will also help you to improve your results, your commercial results over time. Finally, as an overview of what we learned, as a summary of what we learned in this class, we have that you should be able to critically analyze the journey of an organization through transformation. So basically, you understand what has an organization gone through in this process of transformation, so that when you are creating the plan for your company, you're able to recommend them certain ways to do things, right? You should be able to review the approaches to be taken in a digital transformation exercise. Besides the strategic ones, you always have to remember that change in technology means changing people's lives, and therefore you have to concentrate on people as well. Then you should be able to produce a growth hacking or agile marketing plan, which is what we just described, right? By combining the different R, acquisition, activation, retention, referral, and finally revenue, right? And it's a combination of this that will give you your growth hacking plan. Then you should be able to create a plan to measure and improve the effectiveness of digital businesses using analytic tools, where you will basically go through this process, right? The practical growth hacking framework, where you will need to go through the different stages in order for you first to generate a plan and then to keep on improving until you achieve your targets, business targets. Yeah. So this is all we need to learn about growth hacking. I try to compress it as much as possible so that you get all the picture in one class. Yeah? Is there any question in terms of growth hacking? The first question is always, do I need to use this for my report? And the answer is not all of it, but some of it should be on your report, right? Specifically, the metrics should be on the report. And if you are going to be showing some of your planning in more detail on the Gantt chart for the phase 4, then you may want to use some of this planning shown in this part of growth hacking so as to show that you have an understanding on how to get results with very few resources in your company. Yeah? Questions? Questions?